call the meeting to order, please? Agenda approval?
So moved. Second.
Been moved and seconded. Comments? Roll call, please.
Greer.
Yes.
Harding.
Yes.
Hickey.
Yes.
Sharphager.
Yes.
Rickett.
Yes. Approval of the September 18 minutes?
So moved.
Second. Been moved and seconded. Questions? Roll call, please.
Greer.
Yes.
Harding.
Yes.
Hickey.
Yes.
Sharphager.
Yes.
Rickett.
Yes. Public comments? Right. Stand up and tell everybody who you are.
I'm Blaine Reiser. I live at 831 Reservoir Drive Northeast, and I would like to ask the rec board to consider these things when you make your decision about putting water back into the reservoir basin. First of all, I'd like to ask you to set aside any political connection that you have. Set aside any concern for funds, because if you look around the town, there's so many projects that are being taken care of right now with grant money. So I can't see where the money wouldn't be available. And I'm also asking you to do what is correct for the community and give back to us what was so violently taken from us 2 years ago. Give us back a lake. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Is this time?
Yes, ma'am?
Okay,
Do it now.
Okay, my name is Carol Connolly and I live on Camel Circle. My house is right above the falls. Any city or community would be so happy to have what we had. It's wonderful. I'm a naturalist at the Wilderness Center, and it's just a joy. We have fox with deer there. The habitat was disturbed with this. And what I want to say is, we took a survey that was rejected, and I really think that this survey was an indicator of what a disconnect there is between the people in Massillon and City Hall.
Did you get an agenda for tonight?
No.
Did you see what's on the agenda?
No, I didn't.
Talking about a survey.
Pardon?
We're talking about doing a survey.
Okay.
Grab the agenda and read it.
But I thought you might be interested in some of my observations
That's fine.
on surveying. I participated in surveying all 4 quadrants in Massillon. And explained about the 3 choices that we had. What really surprised me were about half of the people that were surveyed, and it was about 400, close to 400. They said, what? The resi? They didn't know anything about it. And the resi had already been drained and everything. And they were really shocked. There was a lot of anger expressed. Anger and sadness. And then they would start reminiscing, telling me about their experiences at the resi all the time. They're picnicking, fishing, ice skating, getting engaged there, taking pictures. And a whole lot of my time was spent just listening to this. And then there were a few people that said, well, I don't live there, I don't care if it's drained, let them drain it. Well, I thought, that's like me, I don't know anything about sports, I don't know the difference between football and golf ball, but I wouldn't tear down Tiger Stadium or the golf course because I don't do those things. Let's see. And I just want to say this, there are things that are so much more important than money. Nature's not just a luxury, and people's emotions and people's trust. You know, we voted for it, paid for the res, and never dreamed it would be destroyed. And here we are. And once again, I want to say I believe that's a real indicator of the disconnect, because for the City Hall just to throw out that survey, I thought was not very good. Thank you.
Thanks. Yes.
Good evening, Jill Kramer, Ward 4 Council. I wanted to communicate a concern that was expressed at the Ward 4 candidate night regarding litter, including dog feces in the park. There was a discussion regarding that, how to decrease the litter in the park, regarding signs, additional stations, and I previously communicated to Steve this concern today prior to coming, but I thought I would express that concern to the board as I stated at that event. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Steve. Anyone else? Now or hold your peace.
Concerning your remarks, we see what she's talking about going on all the time. And in my opinion, the cause of the problem is that the guidelines established by the rec board as far as what is or is not allowed on the park or in the park is not being enforced. Just an example, bicycles. There's bicycles on that path up there all the time. Why isn't it being enforced? There's one sign up there, no bicycles beyond this point. People ignore it. Those laws need to be enforced. Keep dogs out of the park. That's in your description.
Anybody else? Sure. Stand up, please.
Dan Brown, 951 10th Street. My question is to,
You can
sign now? Okay. My question is just about the golf course. Last meeting, it was stated that the golf course would probably make about $100,000 profit this year. So that means it made over $1 million. I find that a little hard to believe.
That's just on the operating side.
So
It's not
you
the
never
debt
count
side.
the bond.
No.
So
The park side pays the
So we're
bond.
$500,000 in the red now.
Well, this year it's 436. Last year it was 545.
So that's in the red.
Correct.
So when we say profit, we mean negative 400,000.
Correct.
Oh, so we need to clarify that, I believe.
I agree.
Anyone else? Okay, approval of the expense report.
I'll make a motion to approve the September 2019 Park and Rec expense report for $319,105.17.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Greer.
Yes.
Harding.
Yes.
Hickey.
Yes.
Sharpsburg.
Yes.
Rick.
Yes. Legends expense?
I'll move that we approve the September 2019 Legends expense report to the tune of $120,351.86.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Greer.
Yes.
Harding.
Yes.
Hickey.
No.
Sharpsburg.
Yes.
Rick.
No. Any old business? Steve, anything? New business, Reservoir Park discussion. Steve?
We have a representative from our engineering firm, OHM, coming up with you to talk about the steps needed to put pond in.
Right here, okay?
Yes, well, anywhere you'd like to,
All
Jason.
right. Jason Popeil, city engineer, city of Massillon. Just here to give you guys a quick 101 on reestablishing or putting another body of water in the reservoir. The first step is going to be we have to put out an RFP to engineering firms because we do need construction documents to get this completed. Construction documents are, we have to do a survey, so we can get a plan, grading plan together, and a hydraulic study. So we want to make sure that when we do put a new body of water in, we have our elevations correct so it doesn't affect the floodplain, doesn't wash out. At a 5-year event, we are elevation control. We know when the pond will go, then we'll top the bank, where the emergency overflow is going to be, things like that. So that's done through the RFQ process, which the engineering firm in Massillon already has a list of 10 firms or so that we would advertise to get the best price from. They would submit their qualifications and their proposal. We would review it. Usually the lowest one is the best one, but that doesn't necessarily mean so. Then we would talk with them and get a full proposal and go on with design. Once design is complete, we would go out to bid for construction and inspect it from there. It's probably, with design, could be 6 months, 3 to 6 months, depending on when survey can start. There is funding available to help assist through OPWC. It's the Clean Ohio Green Space, I believe it's called, Clean Ohio Flood Green Space Conservation Program, which does fund things like this. Keeping green spaces green, adding value to the water. There is a minimum 20% match, and they would cover both engineering and construction. But again, your minimum is 20%, and the more you can contribute on the local side, the higher you score, because it is a competitive grant. That's the basic idea of it. I can answer any questions you have. Sure.
Is this being designed around the fact that we can have 10 feet of water and 5 acres?
We would have to abide by ODNR regulations, so we don't create a dam again. That's one thing we cannot do. So yes, there is. Steve, you may remember the volume of water report.
The total volume allowable behind the existing dam or fall, whichever you want to call it, is 5 acre feet.
50.
I'm sorry, 50 acre feet.
50 acre feet.
I talked to ODNR about this, and her exact words were, you probably don't want to put it right next to the dam. You know, go up 100 or 200 yards, that way you still have room, or whatever the amount, 100 yards, 200 yards, that way you have room if there is a huge rain, which, you know, we all know what they call the 100-acre or 100-year flood.
Yeah.
You know, that was their recommendation. She told me she loves her job, but if they never have to come back to Massillon, they'd be happy. So it's, you know, maybe if, you know, whatever we decide, you know, maybe a 40-acre foot or 30, you know, so it's big enough to have events, you know, do the things that we want to do. That was their recommendation. They, you know, they're out of it right now.
Right.
We don't want them back.
It would all depend on the survey results too, where we can best fit the pond, and how, you know, based on size of apartments, we can vary our depth. So we don't have that question.
Could it be closer than 100 yards?
It could be, but their recommendation was just as, you know, make it as far as, you know, aesthetically as you could, to keep it away from the dam. The actual pond part.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, the actual pond, but, you know, if you said 100 to 200 yards, I mean, hello?
Well, I measured it. It's about, if you look at the second light pole from your house, if you look out, start on the right, I'm thinking about right there.
Oh, okay.
Just by their record, you know, stay away from
Right.
it. It doesn't have to be all the way up.
Yeah, it's a recommendation, it's not.
Yeah, it's not in stone, and it's just something I think we need to think about to stay away from the dam.
Right.
And maybe, you know, we don't want them to come back.
Okay.
They told me if it goes over the earthen wall on the sides, then that would bring them back. Whichever way, whatever.
What would?
If water would breach the earthen dam, you know, as they said before, they would have to come back and inspect again.
And that would be part of the engineering study. We would, based on the design, we would route the 50 or 100-year probable maximum flood through the system and see if we violate that or not. If we do, we have to move it accordingly.
Jason, was your, on the options that we got, option 1, 2, and 3, was this in any of the options, or were you consulted on any of that?
To put a pond in?
Yes. Were you consulted by the city at all?
I can't remember the options.
They were, option 2 was the pond. Were you consulted, because it mentions nothing about a study or anything in option 2? Is the reason
I was part of preparing those options,
Yeah.
yeah, but that was about 2 years ago. I can't remember off the top of my head, but we would definitely have to do a hydraulic study then or now. Yes, it would have been done. It would have been done. We have to prove that we could eliminate that freeboard. At that time, we had to have proved this pond will not violate the freeboard, we can go over the dam, so we're not.
Mhm.
So yes, that would have still had.
I didn't see it in option 2. I didn't mention anything about study.
Okay. And it would have been required. I don't know how detailed we got in presenting the options, you know, getting into the weeds of everything that needs to be done, but it would have been necessary.
So there wasn't one done before?
To take the dam down, that's not needed.
So the time you start, what would be the time frame to get the whole thing completed?
If you wanted to go ahead and get funding in place, we would start the RFQ process, and then it would be, we have to advertise that for 4 weeks. Do the interview process, that's 6. Hire them, they would need design, so you're probably a year before you break ground. That's conservative, it could be 8 months, but you gotta give, you know, whatever firm you hire, they have to have the manpower to do it and get it done and start construction. Construction wouldn't be too long, I wouldn't think. It was just
The actual
grading
work,
and rock.
you mean the actual work?
The actual moving of the dirt, yeah, well, I don't think that would be, we would find a place to take the, excavation material.
Why not just
Right across the
distribute it
street.
around the
It could
area?
be, all depends on survey, I don't want to answer anything right now.
That was one
Because
thing
we
they
don't
mentioned.
want to, we don't want to ruin the floodplain.
Yeah, we would want to use everything we could there,
Yeah, absolutely.
obviously, but she did state you might be able to keep it all there because of the sloping.
We want to balance
Okay.
the earthwork as best we can, absolutely, but we don't want to raise the floodplain, trigger any
Right.
insurances or anything. So that's what the insurance they would do.
On the list of things that you have,
Yeah.
what can the county and the city do? As far as like surveying, I mean, we have county engineers, don't they survey?
County engineers would not do city work, they would do townships.
We
We have a survey
engineer.
department, and we have one person, so they would sub out and help with that. That's what we do now. Whenever we have a survey, like Richfield Drive, we had to survey that, it was half city, half, so, teamed
Some
out.
of the cost
So,
maybe is
yes,
owned by the
that's
city
true.
because we have city workers doing it.
Right. City would not design this stuff. But they could help out on the survey, I guess.
Question.
Yeah.
You mentioned environmental impact study. And there was a comment there.
Hydraulic study, yes.
Yeah, okay, one of the things that keeps coming back on this reservoir thing is about having skating up there. Is there any plans, or has there been studies already done about the high concentration of salt and road chemicals that are put into that water continually coming in there, that residue will not freeze, even if the pond is made bigger?
I have no education on that at all. I don't know if that's.
Okay. I have lived there for 49 years,
Yeah.
and they have put salt on the roads, and Doc Werfer would go out there with his Jeep and plow that ice for ice skating.
Yeah.
Now, the problem with it not freezing is the fact that it filled up with silt. You have a stream of water running there that prevents it from freezing. And you know, when you have maybe only 2 feet of water, it's not gonna freeze.
Right, yeah, the movement of the water would probably prevent it more than salt
Exactly.
content. But again, based on the design, I don't know how it would look, but if you had sort of, like, it would be off the main stream, you would have a feeder stream coming into the pond and then coming, you would want to avoid the pond being in the main stream for erosion purposes. So that side pond during low flow events would have the ability to freeze. It wouldn't have a lot of water moving through it until we had heavy rains or snow melt at the end of the year. But again, that's going to be based on how survey comes in and where we can fit this, where we would fit it in.
Well, it'd be on the west side of the reservoir because that's where all the
That's
storm
what it
drains
looks like
are.
it would be.
You know,
Okay, for the area.
if you dug it deeper, that would cause the water to flow that way, and then on the east side, it would be shallower where it would freeze.
Yeah. We'd have to look at the survey. Without it, I really don't want to say anything, because I don't want to have get a picture in your head of what it
Right.
would look like, but we want the pond to be fed during high events and the main water to go through once the
Right.
pond's full,
Right.
to avoid any erosion and sediment problems. Minimize maintenance.
Well, first, we gotta do the survey. So,
Right.
any other questions for Casey?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Steve, number 2.
Number 2 is the Reservoir Park Survey. As we spoke last meeting, we talked about 2 options, whether it was going to remain a stream or possibly where we put a pond in. Talked to some people since then just to give the information and work and decide we want to do the survey. The schools just recently did a survey about their school buildings. So I talked to Mr. Salvino how he did that, if he paid someone. He said 4 years ago they paid a firm to do a survey for about $12,000 to $15,000, and they had about 400 people reply to the survey. The survey they just did, they had about 400 people reply to the survey. They did this on their own through Google survey, which is online, their Facebook page, their website, and then the Independent actually promoted it for them in the newspaper. You know, I think if we do a survey, we do we'll look at this Google survey. We have a website, we have Facebook, and we could have one here at the rec center, handwritten. Included in that would be anybody's name and address, and they had if they were a homeowner marked, and they also had if they were a registered voter. That way, if they don't fill those out, their survey is not counted. So he had some people from Canton fill a survey out and turned it in, so they discredited those results. So those are a couple options. I have requested a meeting with the community relations director at the high school to get the information, hopefully within the next day or two, to find out how they did that. So if you vote to do the survey, I want to move, get moving on. They did theirs for a week. I'm thinking at least 2 weeks, just to make sure we can reach people. So
That's doing it ourselves.
That's doing it ourselves.
And what's it cost if we have someone?
He said it was about $12,000 to $15,000 in the last survey they did, and they got the same amount of responses as they got for the one that they did on their own. So I reached
About the same number that we got.
Yes. So I reached out and asked for a meeting with their community developer, community relations, to see how they did this, went about it, so we could move forward if we decide to do that.
All right, I'll make a motion that we discuss Reservoir Park survey.
Need a second?
I mean, it's already in the agenda, what are we
We need a
voting on?
motion to discuss it.
Oh, all right. So, the second.
So, discussion?
Yeah, I do have one question. Why are we doing a survey on the resident? I mean, it is a park, why are we doing a survey on the resident? Just kind of, if you don't have 3 votes up here, why do you do a survey? That's my
See,
question.
this is a question that was brought to us at our last meeting on the
Okay.
survey. And if we decide that we're gonna leave it as a stream right now, or if we decide, or the board decides they're gonna build a pond, then the decision's made. Do we wanna do a survey? That's the question here.
Okay, but why, okay, my second question is, why didn't we do a survey on Duncan Plaza? That's not a park, and we gave $125,000. And can you tell me what the upkeep and repairs are gonna be every year, what the maintenance is gonna be? Now, we didn't do a survey on that. I'd rather see the 125 go to the resident, personally.
Go for it.
I just don't think it's fair. Now, if we don't have 3 votes up here, why do the survey? That's my question. Why waste $12,000 to $15,000?
Well, just to counterpoint, and not to cause
No, that's
issues, which
fine.
I normally do, that's all right. The city of Massillon has different sections to it, and people who live on the west or the southeast side may not feel the same way as the people that live right there. They may not. We need to be representatives of, as you've said many times, the entire citizenry. So I think we need to get input from people across the town, not just from the people who live right there, who I know will give responses, which is, absolutely they're right in what they should do. But I think we need to find out from the other people what they would like to see, because they might drive over there too. They have grandkids too, blah, blah, blah. That's why I think we need to have a survey.
That's no problem. I don't have a problem with that. I know the mayor blamed it on the west side. It was all the west side people didn't want it.
All 4 quarters, quadrants we surveyed.
I have a question. If we have a survey, are we presenting 2 options? What are the options we're going to present if we have a survey?
In the last meeting, we talked about this, and then we met because.
When we met, we talked about the 2 options.
Right.
Keep it a stream, make it a pond. I don't know if there's a third option or not. I mean, that's what we talked about when we met.
I think that's the
Keep
fair.
it simple.
Keep it simple. Give them the choice. And let the people decide. So let's vote on the survey. What do you guys think?
Sure.
Let's vote on
Are we just simply voting on, will we do a survey, or are we voting on the parameters of the survey? You know what I'm saying?
it. Let Steve
The
answer.
survey we talked about in our meeting was to either have it, leave it a stream, and then do whatever we want, do the improvement whichever way, or build a pond.
So the survey's going to give them 2 options.
Survey's gonna give them
That's
2
what we,
options.
that's what we left it with.
Either keep it as a stream or build a pond at the reservoir again.
I got you. Okay.
Regardless of the size, that needs to be, the study will determine if we go with the survey, say the pond is what the public decides. Then we talk to the engineers, we get then they have to do the hydrology study and all that to determine exactly what we want to do there.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, see if this wording correct. I'll make a motion that we do a survey with Steve setting up the
Parameters of option
I don't
one
want
and
to use the
two.
same word twice in the same paragraph. He's setting up the parameters with options being A, keep it a stream, B, make it into a pond, and let the citizens of Massillon speak, and then when the results come in, that's what we go with.
Second.
Okay, do we have to vote on the dollar amount?
Do we want to do it ourselves, or do we want to hire someone? I asked the superintendent of schools, his last two surveys. One, he paid $12,000 to $15,000 to have a survey done. And in that survey, they received about 400 responses. This most recent survey, which is a pretty important one, about their buildings, they did it on their own through Google Survey. It's a free service that Google put. You get it free through Google. And he said with that, they got about 400 responses.
I think we do ourselves, say that 12,000. I mean, we're quite capable, and there's enough media out there, media sources with the independent working along.
No, that's
with us.
fine. If you were going to put a dollar amount, you have to state the dollar
Yeah.
amount, that's all.
Well, my question is, on a Google search survey, what about the people that don't really use their computer?
I think we have the Google survey. They can get on our website to get to the Google survey. They can get on our Facebook to get to this Google survey. Or they can come into the rec center and fill out the form. Yes?
If you do it online, you don't know whether they're registered voters or homeowners.
Well, you have to, this is what Mr. Salvino told, this is how he checked it. They have to put their name, their address, and if they're a homeowner, okay? And then they have the choice, one or two, whichever, stream or pond. He then went through them and discarded some that were not in the city, in the school district, because those are the people that voted on that. This would be, anybody that does not live in the city of Massillon would be discarded. And if there's two Steve Pedros, you gotta throw one of them away. You know, make sure they live at the same address. But, you know, online, we tried it in person here. Okay, I can tell you, we did that one in person. And whether it was right or wrong, whichever way it went, you know, we're only gonna get so many people walking here to do the survey. You know, I think we can get everybody that walks in to do it, but they have to be Massillon residents.
And if we use the independent as a second source, that takes care of the people that don't have computers, so they can walk in, use the independent, use all the different media things that Steve referred to. I don't know of any other way except smoke signals.
Well, is there a rep from the independent here? Can you help us out with this? Can you do a survey?
I can write a story, I can't commit to any
We can't answer that for you. You've got to talk to Veronica.
I think-
Well, what I'm asking is, can you run a story and say, hey, you know, we're gonna have option one and option two to vote for?
That's kind of what I was gonna do tonight.
Well, we have to present it. Yeah.
Now, once we set it up, can we use the Indy, if we pay for an ad, to say, hey, here's, you know, run it for a couple, 3 days and let them send it in or whatever?
Sure, if you're paying for an ad, there'll be no problem.
And we may be able to do it just as a story too, to get them out there.
Can we
And it can be-
put a survey thing in a story?
That's a good point. I agree with that.
He also told me to contact the independent to see what they could do to promote it for us.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
That's my motion. That's my motion.
Okay.
And it's been seconded.
Okay. Can't have discussion right now. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion from the board? Roll call, please.
Greer.
Yes.
Harding.
Yes.
Hickey.
Yes.
Burkholder.
Yes.
Cricket.
Yes. Okay. Item 3, Cody Electric, Steve.
These are the lights at the tennis court. As you see here, the $8,320, I was told today it might even be a little less. So we need to, if you could, like you to approve or vote on that, up to that amount, just in case it doesn't come lower or be much more. Or I don't think it's gonna be more, is what I'm saying.
We need a motion to discuss, please.
I'll make a motion that we accept the Kobe Electric lighting for $8,320.
Second that.
Okay, second. I got a question. On the motion, could we amend that? If you'll notice Kobe Electric's, quote, it states use existing circuits and wire. I would like to raise that up to 10,000, not to exceed 10, because if we're using 30-year-old wire and circuits, something's going to give. We're going to have more cost. I would just like to increase the amount, not to exceed maybe 10,000. Do you think that's good, Steve?
I get no indication from him, but if you want to increase it for those reasons.
Just for that reason only, and if it comes.
If it doesn't, then you don't spend it, obviously.
Correct. Can we?
Yeah, okay, I'll amend the motion from, for Kobe Electric from $8,320 up to $10,000.
And I'll second.
Ted seconded it.
Okay, thanks, Ted. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Greer.
Yes.
Hardy.
Yes.
Hickey.
Yes.
Sharpshire.
Yes.
Ricky.
Yes.
I think local, Steve, you told me. They local.
Okay, Steve, number 4.
Let's do appropriate money for now at the end of the year. We've had a couple breakdowns in the pool, especially the pool. And then also to get us through, we've got some bills coming up for the tennis courts that we have not received the funding from the schools yet. Talked to Mr. Salvino today. We're hoping to get that by next month. But it is pledged, it will be coming. So this was just, want to move these before the end of the year so we can pay all our bills, be on time with everything.
You say we haven't got the money from the school yet?
No. We haven't received a check from the schools yet.
So you say what the hold up was?
He did not. He said probably within the next month we'll have it.
I'll make a motion to appropriate $150,000 from the 1234 fund, $100,000 to services and contracts with the numbers provided, and $50,000 under supplies with the numbers provided.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further questions? Roll call, please.
Greer.
Yes.
Hardy.
Yes.
Hickey.
Yes.
Sharpshire.
Yes.
Ricky.
Yes. Okay, Steve, number 5.
Last meeting, we discussed the scheduled step raises that are in city workers' pay grades. And there was a question whether whether our board was going to approve that. That's why they're on there. So it's up to the board to whether accept those or not accept them, or table it.
I'll make a motion that we accept the scheduled step raises under Parks and Recreation.
Second.
Been moved and seconded.
I
Questions?
Yeah, I do have a question, Steve. On the last work session, you brought up Lisa Benton on the working at home. Do we have a work at home policy?
No, she takes that computer home sometimes because she goes to events. Okay, she goes to job fairs. She may go to a health fair to promote the rec center, and she'll take it with her. Okay, that was that's the reasoning behind that. We do not have a work at home policy. If she's gone on Friday to a health fair or a college for that reason or purpose, if we're doing a membership drive or something that the colleges would like to do, she'll go to different things, and she'll take that with her. We do not have a work at home policy.
Didn't you tell me that she was taking this computer?
She does take it home.
Okay.
When she leaves here, when she goes to those places, or she might do something at home as well.
She's working, so she is working from home?
I'm sure at times she does.
Okay. Do you have a policy for that?
I do not.
Think we should get one in case somebody else has to work from home?
We can talk about that, but yes, I think we all
Or
work
come
from
up
home.
with one.
I think we all work from home from time to time.
And do you feel that she should be working from home? Is that all?
No,
right?
it is very limited, I can tell you that. I don't encourage it. I don't encourage people, I don't want that to be taken the wrong way. I'm on 24-hour call. That's fine with me. I do a lot of work from home. If we need to look at a policy, if that's something, I would be glad to. I don't know where to start. I'll talk with the EEO downtown and start with that, if you'd like to do that.
Any further questions, comments?
Now, these are step raises. What are the increases on these park step raises?
Does everybody have a copy of everybody there?
It's in the packet.
It should say 2020 if they're up for step raise in there, next to their name. If you look at does everybody have a copy of the,
Yeah, I got them.
sitting out there? You know, for some, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 years include a step raise, and then it goes to 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years, those are years of service.
And why do you guys feel you need a step raise?
I don't feel I need a step raise. Last year, we talked about this, and everybody, or it was voted upon to include us with the rest of the city.
Because last year you got a cost of living raise, correct?
Yeah, and then they give a 2% raise as well,
Okay.
yes. And I don't know if that's gonna happen. That would be something we would have to talk about. I think last year was our December meeting, and we talked about the cost of the 2%.
Okay.
Don't know, haven't been told that's gonna happen.
I really feel that we should bring up the lower end, the people making minimum wage. I think we should offer them at least $12, $13 so we can keep people in the parks. I think Mr. Pate needs some help in the parks. That's my philosophy when I go around and look at these parks. I think we need some more equipment. So I would forego these step raises and hire more people for the parks, giving them a decent wage so we can keep them every year, instead of going through these hires every year. That's what I would suggest. I feel our parks are not up to par, so I'm not going to go for the step raises at this time.
I have a question. On the front, the first page, it's got 2020 at 73,403. And then on the sheet that you were just talking about, Steve, it's got 76,419. Which one is correct?
I'm sorry, Mo, which one are you talking about?
On the very first page, that was stapled together here. Which
That's
is
the budget.
Right. And
Yes.
You have this amount here.
Yes.
But on here, you have that amount. So which is that
This
one?
one, it's this, I took mine off.
Okay, that's why I thought, that's why I wanted to clarify on that. On this page here, that amount should be 73 and not 77.
On your budget page.
It says 73 on the budget page, which is a change from the last budget page, which was 75.
Right. Okay, any further questions or comments? Do we have that correction? That's corrected on the book.
How much will this increase the pension to the PRS and vacations and all that?
We haven't been given those numbers yet from the budget
Okay.
director.
Is the, in the budget here, well, we'll get to that next, is the vacations and sick days, is that all included in the budget too, or not?
I don't know what you mean, Mark, I'm sorry.
Each year, when somebody usually leaves here, we're usually paying out $35,000, $40,000.
If they,
Do we accrue for that?
sick time.
Yeah, do we
You have-
accrue for that?
Yeah, your sick time is accrued. We had that, we had someone retire 2 years ago, and we had to pay them their sick time.
Yeah, is that showing up in the budget?
We don't have anybody this year.
Okay.
With nobody that we know of. We don't have anybody near, at the 20-year mark, I should say. Nobody's scheduled to retire.
But I don't see anything here about sick time being accrued or anything like that. Is that figured in to the budget or anything, or we just pay it out as we go?
We've only paid it out when it needed to be.
When needed.
If we knew someone was going to retire.
And what account does that come from then?
$21.50. If you look 2 years ago, we did pay that out. Yeah, we knew the year before that he was gonna retire, and we did put it in the budget.
Okay.
We're only hoping that our employees were lucky enough to know the previous year.
I'm good. Okay, any further questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Greer,
Yes.
Hardy,
Yes.
Hickey,
No.
Sharptiger,
Yes.
Rickett.
No. Okay. 2020 Parks and Rec budget.
I'll make a motion that we approve the 2020 Parks and Recreation budget that we've been given.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further questions or comments? We need the amount, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, in the
That's
amount
okay.
of, let me get a page. What? No.
2875.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not on the wrong page. I apologize. $2,875,000.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further questions? Discussion? Roll call.
Greer,
Yes.
Hardy,
Yes.
Hickey,
Yes.
Sharptiger,
Yes.
Rickett.
Yes. Legends. Carried.
I'll make a motion again that we approve the Legends scheduled step raises.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion, please.
I do have one question. Carrie, when you give golf lessons down there, how are you paid?
As an independent contractor.
Beg your pardon?
As an independent contractor.
You're paid as an independent contractor? Now, I asked you earlier, is this okay?
It's in the contract.
It's in the contract?
Bless you.
Bless you.
Why didn't you tell me on my
That's
call?
what I was told. I just got that today, Mark. I haven't seen it, I'm sorry.
All right. So basically, that's all okay? I mean, we're allowed to use a taxpayer public entity for to give golf lessons, correct?
As a golf pro.
Okay,
When she
just,
signed up.
I got you. That's all, that's the only question I had, as far as that goes. And the other one, you want to give raises to the cook, correct?
This is not me, this is the city step raises.
Well, no, okay, yeah,
So this isn't me.
right.
This
So
has
the-
nothing to do with me.
So who's getting them?
We just have 4 full-time people.
And who are those 4 full-time people?
Myself, Greg, Bobby, and Steve Yakino.
Okay.
Mhm.
Bobby
And they
Hughes.
all deserve raises.
Bobby Hughes, okay.
Bobby who?
Steve's the chef, right?
Yes.
Now, is he full-time all year?
Oh, yes.
Okay, now, when he's full-time all year in the winter, what is he doing?
We do a lot of maintenance on the building ourselves.
So, should his job description be rewritten?
Probably.
Okay?
But he's also booking banquets as well for the upcoming season.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Now, does he have banquets during the wintertime?
Sure.
Does he have
Not
one?
many,
Does he
but
have
we
one
do.
a week, or?
Oh, that I can't tell you, it has to go back and look. But again, we try to keep our expenses as low as possible during those winter months because we don't have a lot of revenue coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, with the budget that we have to work with, we also have to watch that as well.
Correct me where I'm wrong. You picked up 12 or 13 new leagues this year.
15,
15, and you've got 3 at least new ones for next year.
correct,
And you picked up more banquets than you've had in the past.
correct.
And you have the opportunity to have more prestigious events come to your way because of the care that you guys are showing with the courts.
That's correct.
I think you deserve the raise.
My question is not about that. My question is more about Steve. Does he have, is he doing banquets all winter? What is he doing when the golf course is closed?
Yeah, like I said, we've done a lot of maintenance on the building ourselves, saving a lot of money. We painted the whole inside of the clubhouse. We put new carpet down in the banquet room. Of course, Bob and Pete did that. But Steve and I painted that whole banquet room. Took us most of the winter to do it. Bathrooms, we redid the bathrooms.
Steve Johnson.
So Steve goes above and beyond what he's supposed to do as
Okay.
a chef.
Okay.
Yeah.
just me, shouldn't bother you, be getting a little more money? My question. Well, that's
We did
your
give him a
decision.
raise this year,
Oh, you did?
yes.
Okay.
And I believe he's up for that step raise this coming year.
Okay. Any further questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Greer.
Yes.
Harding.
Yes.
Dickey.
Yes.
Sharpsheider.
Yes.
Rickett.
Yes. Okay, 2020 Legends budget.
Well, since I'm on a roll, I'll make a motion that we pass and approve the 2020 Legends budget in the amount of, very cheap this time, $1,061,625.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Questions?
Yeah, can I start getting a profit and loss statement from the Legends? I got it twice, and all of a sudden I don't get it.
It's in the packet.
Is it in the packet
Yeah,
this week?
it's the last page.
Okay.
Yep. We're 186,000 in profit right now, operations.
Fine. Oh, tell me where that's at.
On the back.
Oh,
Yeah, I have it in every board meeting,
and that was since June you started putting that in?
whenever you start asking for it.
I think it was June. That's when I got it in the file.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes. Now, the budget this year, we increased it from last year. How much? Was it about 42,000?
No, last year's budget was,
No, from the year before. Wasn't there an increase of about 42,000? Am I wrong on
wait,
that?
which year are you talking about?
For 2018 to 2019, didn't it jump about 42,000, the operating budget?
No, more than that. I mean, I have it, I don't know if you have it.
It's right here, here.
96. Something here.
Yeah, do they have that?
Yes.
In the packet?
Yes.
Okay. Mark, I can get out my calculator if you'd like.
No,
It's
I got
about 89,000 more, it looks like.
89,000.
About 89,000.
Steve, where'd that money come from?
For revenue for Legends.
All the leagues we picked up. I projected what our revenue would be.
Okay.
We've actually made more than what I projected.
Any further questions? Questions, comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Greer.
Yes.
Harding.
Yes.
Dickey.
Yes.
Sharpsheider.
Yes.
Rickett.
Yes. Okay, board reports.
Joe, guess I'm up. Last week, we cleaned up all the playground area at Community Park. We pulled the weeds, painted the benches, trimmed the trees out there, killed some of the weeds in all the beds. We trimmed some trees away from the pavilion out there. They were leaning on the roof. We cut down and cleaned out the gutters out there. We mowed the basin at the Resi and cleaned up the East Bank. We had some graffiti at Jones Pavilion. We painted on the cement or on the blacktop and on the poles. We repainted it over. Tennis courts at this, up at the reservoir have been painted. They're all painted with the lines. Blue is down, the green is down. The fence is going up soon. I called them yesterday and told them that the painters will be done and they can come in and put the fence up. Again, Chef Park, as you know, has been done for about a month and a half, and they've been playing since the second week of September. Been getting a lot of good reviews from the players that really like it. They've been playing real well, they're easy to take care of. And just a reminder, restrooms in the parks will be closed November 3rd and winterized.
Gary, I want to thank you for what you did at Survivor Park.
throw in, this isn't directly toward you, but kind of toward you. I just want to thank the Independent for allowing us to have the publicity and the positive feedback that we're getting from articles that are being submitted on a weekly basis. It is a benefit to the entire Parks Recreation system, and it reflects what you're doing, Joe, up there, making it look good, and then the Independent showing what we're doing, so thank you.
And thank you, Dave, for writing most of those articles. Okay. Okay.
As you know, Legends is having probably the best year it's ever had. We're up 7,000 rounds from last year. So we've had 40,000 people walk through the doors at the Legends and play golf. That's a lot of golf. Usually 18 holes average about 21 to 22,000 rounds a year. So 27 holes, we had 40,000 rounds. We are ranked 22nd in the state out of 900 golf courses. Okay, we're looking to move that up, of course.
Has that been publicized
Yes.
locally?
On Golf Advisor.
Well, what I'm saying is, so the people of Massillon know that. I mean, I know it's whatever, but if the people of Massillon knew that, that may be a boon to you, and it also would be,
Right.
you know.
What are some of the things that they look at, Gary, when they grade you?
It's all based off reviews that we get from customers playing the course and the experience that they've had. We're actually one of the highest, we're at 4.6 right now, rating. And we have a lot of reviews.
If we're doing so well, how come some of this money can't help pay for the debt
What money?
from the carryover?
Mark, probably because they haven't done anything for 20 years to improve the golf course. I mean, we have a whole list of things that we need. Now, 2.75% of what we make goes towards the bond.
And that amounts to how much?
Well, right now it's 22 grand.
22,000?
So, but yeah, we definitely need to make a lot of improvements to keep the customers there.
Are you going to have to hire any additional people this year, Gary?
For next year,
To,
a couple more staff members. Just October alone, this is what, the 16th, 15th, 16th? We're already up 10 grand just in the month of October. So, just depending on weather, we have one of the biggest outings of the year coming up on Sunday, over 130 people. And then Steve has quite a few banquets coming up in November and December. So, and we were voted #1 by Rent My Wedding to hold a wedding in a banquet facility. So we were voted #1.
Send it, you gotta get that out to the people.
We will.
They've got to know this.
Yeah.
What determines what percentage goes towards the debt? Where did that come from?
The auditor,
The auditor. And how does she determine that?
that's what it's been since I walked in the door. I can ask that question tomorrow. We asked, but they said that's what the number is.
Next year's our 25th anniversary, so probably do something special. I'm bringing a lot of merchandise that has a 25th anniversary on it. So yeah, we've been doing great. Best year we've ever had.
Okay, Carol?
The senior center had we had our winter roast and chili yesterday here at the rec center, and it had a really nice turnout. It went really well. Once again, the marketing directors from the local nursing homes is like the backbone of the senior center. They're able to make things happen, make it possible. We had our bi-monthly meeting last week, and the activity board, along with the members, took a vote. We will be raising the fee to $15 for the 2020 memberships. And that money that's generated through the activity club is put into the bank, and then we're able to, meet our expenses throughout the year and stuff. It helps defray some of the daily operation cost, like mailing out the newsletters. And I was just giving Dave an example a little bit ago when I was talking to him about our membership dues. The activity club picks up quite a bit of the expenses at the senior center. Like for an example, we just had to replace 2 batteries and the pads for our defibrillators, which cost $587. So that $10 doesn't go very far when we have expenses like that. So next year it would be 15, and I'm hoping that, you know, it's would be a good change that will help them financially, but yet they want to make sure that we, you know, keep all of our, maintain all of our memberships. So I'm putting it out there that, you know, if it's a hardship for anyone, we will definitely work with them. Because it is hard for the seniors to come up with that extra money. And then the activity club, we're having our annual volunteer banquet for those that have, you know, accumulated 20 hours in volunteer time, because I get a lot of help from some of the seniors, so we always like to thank them. So we're doing that at Otterbein Church on Friday, and there will be 36 members, and then plus the marketing directors have been invited as well. And other than that, things are going well at the senior center.
I guess we'll say a question, what kind of card games do you play down there?
Euchre, they play euchre Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Yeah. They used to
No
play
good whist.
bridge, but
No good whist, talk, or?
no, they keep it strictly to, if anybody knows how to play that, they're welcome to come in and get groups started.
There's just mostly euchre at that.
Mostly euchre.
Is there checkers or?
There's everything. There's board games. I have quite a bit of activities for them to do and stuff. So I've got puzzles. I mean, they come in work puzzles. There's usually on a daily basis, there's, you know, a handful of people that are coming in and out doing different activities. But when I have scheduled events, like Steve saw me yesterday, I had a really big group, a large group here for lunch. And the nursing homes have been helping out with that since we no longer have Meals on Wheels. They have been coming in and providing a nice lunch.
Do you have a choir too? I've seen a choir.
We don't have our choir this year. We lost too many people in the choir because of illness and stuff.
That's a loss, because you guys are good.
We were really good, but we've lost our pianist. She passed away, so. And this year, it was just hard trying to get somebody to fill that position at the last minute, but that's something that we'll bring back for sure.
Thank you.
Okay,
No.
Steve?
We have a lot going on in the next couple weeks at the rec center. There's a job fair next Wednesday. Start Jobs is coming in. We do that annually. And then Thursday night, trunk or treat out here in the parking lot. Last year we had over 3,000 people, children and adults come. We have, I would say, about 70 vendors that are coming to bring candy to pass out. And then next Saturday, week from Saturday, we have our open house. And then the following Monday is the blood drive. And I wanted to recognize Paul Mutchler, but he left already. If any of you didn't, you guys know who Paul Mutchler is? He was sitting back here, he spoke earlier. He goes through our parks and then he'll say, hey, I seen this, I'm gonna fix it for you. You know, or he gives compliments for our parks crews, but he goes above and beyond what any citizen even considers most of the time. He'll go and fix something and then let us know. But I wanted to recognize him when he left.
Did we get any estimates for signage for our parks that you were?
Yeah. We have the street department downtown. He's been busy. He said he's gonna get with us.
Any further questions? Okay, motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Roll call.
Rear,
Yes.
Harding,
Yes.
Dickey, Sharp.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.